Every brand tells a story. And they are the storytellers. The Sutradhars. They present a brand with band, baja and barat to you. They are the Brandwalas. He transformed a heritage textile business into one of India's fastest growing fashion powerhouses. Sidhant Keshwani, founder and CEO of Libas. Blending design sensibility with new age commerce, he has scaled Libas from a boutique name to an omni-channel leader with a digital-first DNA and a sharp brand voice. From bold brand storytelling to data-led retail expansion, Sidhant has reshaped the ethnic wear landscape, making Libas not just a label, but a brand redefining everyday fashion that speaks to the new age Indian woman. He is our Brandwala. Hi everyone, welcome. You're watching the Brandwalas. I am Krishnakumar and we are in conversation with Mr. Sidhant Keshwani, founder and CEO of Libas. Sidhant, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the Brandwalas. Great to have you with us on the show. I'm going to begin by asking something very simple. You know, you sell something that's very simple. You know, Indians love it. You know, it's Indian wear at the end of the day. And you've been doing it quite successfully. You began as ethnic wear and then your brand sort of evolved into from ethnic wear into Indian wear. Tell us, how do you, market your brand?
So when I started, we were trying to solve a problem. We identified a problem that we are a digital first native brand, right? And being a digital first brand, you wanted to make sure that you tap into more newer, younger age audiences. And what I felt was the gap was that there was no innovation happening in the Indian West side. Like for the last 40-50 years, we've been seeing similar kinds of products, similar kind of embellishment. There was no change happening in how brands are actually talking to their audiences. So we said that there are so many international brands that you see like today, like brands like Zara, H&M, etc., who are innovating fast fashion, literally doing new stuff on a regular weekly basis, doing new drops, new design aesthetics. I was saying, why is that not happening in Indian wear? I mean, we today, the young and the new India needs similar kind of trends, right? In the world of social media, why are we talking about the same thing for the last 100 years? So wanted to change that completely, hence that gave birth to Libas, which is technically India's first fast fashion Indian wear brand.
Sidhant, tell us, how did you go about, when you came up with the concept of Libas and this is what you want to do and you're a digital first brand, one of the first digital first brand. But so what were your channels of marketing? How did you want to, place your brand in the minds of the consumer?
It was very simple, to be honest. So ideally, it's about finding a niche. We said that where will Indian wear be the most relevant, right? And something, because we were digital and e-commerce first, we wanted a product which people buy frequently and not like a once a year purchase, right? So I identified that the maximum amount of consumption for everyday Indian wear is happening in offices, where people were wearing kurtas, people were wearing suits to offices, right? So we said we'll tap that, and we only focused on workwear. Like if you talk about the first 2-3 years of my business, because I always tell everybody that start simple, have a focused niche and explore that first, and then you can do whatever once your brand is built, right? So I followed the same philosophy. We picked up kurta as a category and a kurta set as a category for office wear. We were known as like the go-to brand when it comes to office wear. And you know how people want to wear something new to office every day. So there was an instant click amongst our consumers.
And this is only for women?
This was only for women. Still, we are a 100% women wear brand. We don't do men's at all at the moment. So we found that niche, and we started really, like, all our campaigns, all our shoots, all our marketing campaigns were around the new age people, like age between 20 to 35, first time office goers, or the CEOs, the CXOs of the companies, etc. So that's the niche that we identified, and we scaled up in that niche. So those were the early days of how we did our brand building.
What's your marketing mix like? So it's 97% digital marketing.
Digital marketing, yeah.
And 3% traditional.
3 to 4% traditional.
And what do you do in that 3 to 4%?
I mean, just here and there, if I have a store launch, maybe give a magazine or a newspaper ad here and there, or maybe have a hoarding nearby. But honestly, because the attribution and targeting is so difficult when it comes to offline marketing, I've never been a big fan. So, most digital first companies and businesses would never love the traditional ways of marketing, because that one hoarding, you don't know who's seen it. 10 people will see it. Out of 8 will not be relevant to you. So I mean.
So no TV ads?
So we did one campaign. We did a campaign with Kiara Advani about 1.5 years back. So that was our first TVC. Actually, second, we did one with Sara Ali Khan also before that, a year before that. But the one we did with Kiara was actually a full-blown TVC, and we did again a lot of OTT rather than traditional TV television. So a lot of OTT and media spends were happening around that time. But that was also, I would still call it digital, not traditional. So
yeah, it's an audio visual that you used,
exactly.
But again, that audio visual was meant to go on digital platforms rather than television or movie theaters, for that matter.
Movie theaters we did.
How do you target the Gen Z consumer, the so-called extreme low attention span? No, we're living in a world where we all have low attention spans, you and me and everybody. But they originally began as a way of describing Gen Z. Oh, that's the generation with the lowest attention span, and that's the generation that you are targeting.
So, firstly, it's a very tough segment. We all know that. Right? it is tough. It's a very tough segment, and the problem is, especially for our category, which is, Indian wear. You don't see a lot of Gen Z kids wearing Indian wear, right? I mean, not even to office, etc. and all those things. So it is a very tough category to crack. But how we are doing it is, we are actually not selling them the product. We are actually selling them an experience. We are saying that how Indian wear can also look cool. So we are selling that idea to them that Indian wear does not have to be that same, like just yesterday, we were designing a new campaign, and we had about 4 to 5 marketing agencies pitch to us. And all 4 or 5 marketing agencies, something similar, that they were trying to somehow get the traditional roots and connect it. I said, my brief specifically says, whatever you've seen in Indian wear over the last 20 years,
this is not that.
We are not going to do a palace. We are not going to do any gold elements. We are not going to do, even in stores. Like, the first idea was that nobody will come, kya bithao customer ko, and you make them serve tea, and like the traditional way of shopping. I said, any cliche that you've been seeing for Indian wear, we are not going to do that. so literally everybody had to revise their pitch. It's, more new age now. Like, we want to say that what is a busy working woman doing, or celebrating any occasion, or, how they are using Indian wear in their daily life. It does not have to be only wedding, right? How can you make every day relatable with Indian wear? So that's what we're trying to sell to the newer audiences. At the end of the day, that's the next 10 years for us, right? I mean, these are the people who are going to shop from us for next 10 years. So we have to start looking cool for them as well.
What is your all-time favorite advertisement or brand campaign or marketing campaign, something that really struck a chord with you and continues to inspire you?
See, I realize that today most campaigns where you get instant messaging, I get inspired by those campaigns, because it's very difficult, right? Today, as an advertiser, you're always trying to do something different, right? And sometimes when you're trying to do different things, you kind of step away from the core message that you're supposed to, deliver to the consumer, and the message gets lost. So I like how, Zepto did their campaigns. I think this is a year and a half back, right? And did with a lot of brand that same message, that how quickly we are delivering. So the focus is, it's a 10-second ad, and instantly you're able to connect, resonate as to what are they trying to sell. They're trying to sell you 10 minutes delivery, right? And that was point down with a lot of storytelling, even in those 10 seconds. So that was one thing that I feel that relatability in advertising is very important. And if we talk about emotional campaigns, there are many, like, I mean, the old Cadbury ads and all, something that we've grown up seeing, right? I mean, even today when we have to set a benchmark, the whole Cadbury and few of the Pepsi ads, one great example would be, I remember last year, and it was the first AI-driven campaign that I had seen, and it was mind-blowing for me because so Cadbury had done this campaign last Diwali where they had gotten Shah Rukh Khan as a brand ambassador, and as a retailer, like, you know, they were doing it to promote small retailers across India. And if I had a small shop, say somewhere in Delhi, I can go up on that tool that they had built and I can type in my details, and using AI, Shah Rukh Khan would be promoting my store as a Cadbury ad. So that was something that, you know, we were mind blown that, you know, such amazing, terrific use of, you know, user generated content, AI, relatability, targeting the small businesses. So it's a fantastic campaign. So that was something that, you know, I took back and see that, you know, there's so much that can be done through marketing if thought well.
Yeah. What, according to you, is the big buzz? Something that's buzzing as far as the world of advertising and marketing is concerned.
Currently?
Yes.
See, I think what's really doing well right now is more relatable content. I think today we are in that phase or at that cusp right now. People don't care how big a face you're introducing or how big a celebrity might be, etc. If the campaign and the overall idea of a campaign is relatable, right, that's enough for that campaign to go viral. It does not have to have like a super popular face or, you know, it's something that, for example, people want more relatability. Because a lot of times what happens is we are actually throwing them a campaign which is possibly in our eyes very aspirational but not relatable in it by any means, right? So they want to see real people. They want to see what we've seen is today, you will be shocked to hear that my click-through rate on a product where a user generated, like my consumer has sent a picture and I put it up on my website, that is generating 10x the number of clicks as compared to me getting a model and shooting it professionally.
Wow.
So something, that environment is relatable. They're seeing somebody comfortable sitting at home wearing a kurta and showing that, versus there is a studio, we spend lakhs of rupees on setups, and a model coming in and shooting that, which is not relatable.
What, according to you, is overhyped in the world of marketing? So much gyan gets given about it on LinkedIn and otherwise in meetings. So much gets spoken about it, but it's so overhyped that you think it's actually quite blah. You know, something that's, you know, that you don't think is much ado about nothing in the world of branding and marketing today.
See, I feel that today, when you're overselling the product, I think that's a big turn off for me when it comes to, you know, looking at an ad. I want to be sold a story, right? So today, even when I'm doing, like, my focus is the least on the product. That should be something that happens automatically, that transition. But I don't like it when any brand is advertising a very product first kind of a strategy where the focus is only the product and not the story. So for me, I'm more of a storytelling guy. So I feel it's always should be for story first and then product.
So you think you tell the right story, the product sells itself.
Product sells itself. Exactly. If the story is good, if the story is correct, the product sells itself. Because at the end of the day, we are in a time where literally everybody is selling more or less similar things. I mean, nobody has done any rocket science to sell clothing, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there'll be one collection where I'm better, maybe my competition is better.
You would say it.
But what lasts a generation is a story.
You keep talking about AI as well. Tell us, how do you use AI to market your brand? What are the kind of tools that you use? How integral a part of your marketing is AI? Because from what I understand, AI has just revamped marketing in the last 5 years more than marketing has changed in the last 50 years.
Of course. So of course, there's a lot of things happening. Like today, there is so much efficiency that is coming in through AI. If I look at my back-end processes, we've shifted so many things towards AI. Like for example, our photo shoots now, like almost 20% of our photo shoots are now all AI driven, where there is no physical model coming in for a shoot. In fact, we just
you have an AI model?
Yeah, so we don't have a IP on an AI model, but we work with a lot of partners who have those IPs, and we build shoots on AI as well.
Oh.
Like if you look at about 10 to 15% of my catalog today is shot on AI, where there has been no model, no makeup, nothing, literally just a
computer generated model.
Yeah, like you'll pick up a sample, just click that sample from an iPhone, send it across, and then AI gives you a photo. And it just doesn't end there, it gives you a video as well. You actually see the whole flow of an outfit of a model walking from one end to the other, wearing that outfit like a 360-degree view just through one sample picture. So that is one great use of AI. But on top of that, we do a lot of usage of AI to get efficiency in our backend. Like just something as small as, today we have about 6 warehouses across the country and more than 50 stores across the country. Now, what to send to the store earlier was a process where we would get like 5 Excel sheets, this is selling good here, we should send this here. Then we pick up another store, this is selling well here, and whatever is not selling, you pull it back. So this was a whole 1 or 2 day exercise. And now our backend system, just a click of a button, you get to know. Like today, if I say that I want to send something to this warehouse, it's just a click of a button and the input will come in of this in this size. This should go to this warehouse or should go to this store. So just another example of how efficiency is. So AI is going to bring in a lot of efficiency in businesses, and a lot of tasks that earlier you were doing in 3 days, 4 days is going to happen with a click of a button. So we are at that stage where more than introducing AI in the front end for customers, right, that a lot of people talk about, we are now first building a lot of tools to get efficiencies in the back end.
But I'm more interested in how are you using AI for innovation? Okay. How are you using AI to get that Gen Z consumer who's so difficult, whose attention is so difficult to get?
So another use case is our forecasting is all happening on AI now. So we have a system that scrapes in all the activities that are happening on social media and like point by point cuts it that what are the attributes. Like for example, it picks up data from the Paris Fashion Weeks and the Milan Fashion Weeks. A lot of data is scraped through saying that these are the common trends that are seeming or probably going viral on social media and something that we should implement. It could be a color, it could be a cut, it could be a silhouette, it could be an overall outfit. So too many use cases like that. So when we make a mood board now, about 25 to 30% of the mood board is based on, built on getting forecasts from what the AI machine learning tool tells us.
And then what fashion trends
are coming. Because for a fashion brand, the first thing that you start building your collection is a mood board, right? You spend a lot of time building the mood board. Earlier, those mood boards used to be picking up random pictures online, picking up, going to stores, collecting samples. Now, all that is now moving towards AI. Like literally with a click of a button, you get that forecast of, this is what Instagram today looks like, and this is something that's been trending for the last 15 days. We build on that.
And still using a celebrity, like traditionally using a celebrity. I mean,
exactly.
And yet doing something so completely different, isn't it? I only ask this because as we keep talking about AI, the contra call is also coming in. There's so much of AI slop online. AI does not have the sometimes stuff that's generated on AI doesn't have the kind of human connect and all of that. So human intelligence using artificial intelligence is the future, is what some say. Would you agree with that?
So I don't agree with it. Firstly, because I feel that it's still evolving. Okay. I mean, I agree that there could be some use cases where it is not, say, 100% or even 80% for that matter, but it's going to be a journey, right? It's a learning. I think the models are also progressing, and every year, if you look at it, if you try to pick up one problem that you want to solve through AI, how you could solve it 3 years back versus today, it has just improved year on year, right? That's why we say that while AI, for example, if I had to use consumer chat on AI, I feel that's still customer facing. So I'm still hesitating because I feel the models will be improved over the next 1 or 2 years and it'll be ready in 2 years. But that's why I'm not using it currently. I'm using more on the back end where, efficiency is there and there's no expectation of that consumer thinking that will there be a lag, will I get a proper human response or not, etc. and all those things. But I think it's a matter of time. With how fast, tools like ChatGPT and other tools are really scaling up. We already have like version 5, 6, etc. And in just like 5 years?
Yeah.
And it's scaling up really fast. It's a matter of time, I think. Most of the things will be replaced, I think, according to us.
What is the one thing about your job that you love the most?
So when I started, we were a very lean team, right? I started with just 2 people around me, and there were times where I have literally, starting from HR to finance to marketing, I have done each and every role. I have been the chief finance officer also, I have the chief marketing officer also at some point in my 10-11 years of business.
The true all-rounder.
Yeah, the true all-rounder. Now when I have fantastic teams who are doing such a great job in their own domains, I am the biggest problem solver, right? So now what really excites me to come to office is to solve a new problem, to hustle more, to do people management, and I think that's something that excites me a lot today, because I feel that, in fact, this is something I tell my team, that if you've come to me and worked with me directly for 2 to 3 years, and if you don't have entrepreneurial skills once you move out of here, that means I have not done a good job. So that's something that I swear by. I feel that I want to build the entrepreneurs of tomorrow, whoever walks out of this company. So that's something that I love. So every time I see somebody stepping out of the company and starting their own venture, that gives me the biggest boost ever. So.
Okay, then let me ask you this then. What is the one thing about your job that you don't like at all? Like, we don't use the word hate on the show. It's too strong a word. The one thing about your job that you detest. The one thing that you do not look forward to at all.
See, if I talk about domains, finance is something definitely on top there. But jokes apart, one thing I don't like is stagnancy. Like, I can't run a ship in waters which are smooth. I love the hustle, I love challenges, and I love to problem solve, like I already told you, right? So if the graph of the business is like this, I'm not the right person to run it. Only if the expectation is to go here, I like to run it. So there are certain stagnancy phase where, we focus a few months on, say, building more efficiency than growth, chasing profitability over growth, etc. and all those. So those are the most boring times for me, because then you have to run a very stable ship and there's no innovation or not so much problem solving happening there. So yeah, those are times where I feel that I'm not a stable ship pilot or so
stable ship captain.
So
so to speak.
I didn't have that.
Okay. Yeah, then tell us where do you hope to take Libas to going forward?
So I had a very clear vision, to be very honest. I want to make Indian wear a global phenomena, and we are trying to dive into things where we want not just Indians but everybody globally somehow resonating with Indian wear. That's why we are trying to make it younger, we are trying to make it fun, we are trying to fuse it with a lot of Western trends, etc. I think it's a matter of time. About 2 to 3 years, you'll see us taking Indian wear to the globe, and not just Indians wearing it. You'll find locals walking into a store in Dubai or in London and picking up stuff like they do for from a brand like Zara or in H&M. So that's what we're trying to build here.
That's a big ambition, isn't it? And that's going to take a lot of work from here on too.
Of course.
And that's exactly what keeps you excited.
Absolutely. So I think that will be a stage. Once I've done that, I would feel that I've done something worthy here.
Tell us then, where do you see marketing and branding headed in the near future? Because we've been talking about it's changed so much in the recent past. It's still in the process of churn and change. Tell us, where do you see it headed in the near future?
See, I think simplicity is going to be key. According to me, like I said, people don't want too much clutter. I think clutter-free branding, simple branding and simple messaging and more relatable messaging is going to be the key for the next few years. You already see so many international global brands, like they used to have such fancy creative logos to now just a black and white text as logos, and a lot of brands have transformed into that. If you see like the biggest brands like the Dior's and the Chanel's and the Louis Vuitton of the world, because people are moving towards more simplicity, because there's so much clutter anyway. So I mean, like if I look at clothing alone, there is so much clutter, and now I want to create clutter in my own brand also, that just just does not make any sense, right? I want the messaging to be clean, I want messaging to be direct, and it has to be relatable. So for me, that is where it's headed, and use of AI is going to play a very, very big role, but that's also going to do a lot in efficiency. So when digital marketing came in, the biggest plus point from the traditional ways of marketing was that your targeting was much more accurate. You knew who you're talking to, right? Now with AI coming in, it's going to be a completely different ballgame. It's going to be literally digital marketing on steroids.
And the one thing that you think will stand out when it comes to brands trying to build, because today you have more D2C companies. You open your phone, the number of D2C brands across product categories and service categories coming in your phone. You're using AI, they're going to be using AI. This is going to be a hyper competitive world in which brands it isn't. Once upon a time, brands meant toothpaste was 2 brands. And today toothpaste is 20 brands minimum, so to speak. Clothes, what you're selling did not even have a brand before. So how do you stay competitive in a hyper competitive world?
See, I'm a strong believer that today businesses are not about products, it's about execution, right?
Okay.
And while AI is going to get common, product categories are going to get common, it's going to be the execution. Whoever does it better wins. So I think it's going to be a clear challenge of who does it better. Who does it first, who does it fast, and who does it better. So these 3 tips, I think, are going to be there to stand out in that clutter.
And when you say better, it means being more authentic,
more efficient, authentic, faster. So speed, I think today, for me, the future is speed. Put in speed anywhere and you'll see good results.
Like speed in making the product, speed in selling the product.
Anything. Delivering the product. Cataloging the product. Like today we have a chief speed officer in our office because we realized very early.
You mean a CSO?
CSO, yeah.
Chief Speed Officer.
Yeah. And his role is only to make sure to pick up small things or processes which are very meaningful and are happening over 3 days, how to get it in a few hours. So because we realized as a fast fashion brand, today we are built on speed. Speed is actually at the core of our DNA, right? Everything. To build a new fashion and bringing it to the consumer, you can't just do it by getting to know that this is trending and making it. There are 100 processes till it reaches the customer. So how do you bring speed in each of those 100 processes? So, and today also there's so many things we feel are slow, but given our bandwidth, we're trying to constantly focus on our main core idea is that how do you bring 2 days to a few hours? So
fascinating. I'm afraid we're out of time over here. Sidhant, thank you so much for taking time out and being with us here
Thank you.
on the Brand Wallas.